Good evening. Myself Monisha. I am from TJ's Engineering College, currently pursuing final year in Electrical and Electronics department. Today, my topic is about charge formation and theories in the formation of clouds from the subject power system transients. So, these are the concepts that we are going to discuss about and in the introduction. So, before seeing the charge formation, let us know the basic introduction about it. Light rain phenomenon is a peak discharge where the charge accumulated in the clouds will discharge into the neighboring cloud or to the cloud. So it is one of the external causes of over voltages, and it is also a naturally occurring electrostatic discharge during which two electrically charged regions in the atmosphere or ground temporarily will equalize themselves. So to explain this phenomenon, various theories and processes are listed here. So first we will see about the charge formation in the clouds. So during thunderstorms, positive and negative charges will become separated by the heavy air currents. The raindrops will elongate and become unstable under an electric field. Free falling raindrops attain a constant velocity with respect to the air depending upon its size. Falling air drops greater than 0.5 centimeter in diameter will become unstable and break into smaller drops. So, when these drops are broken by air currents, the water particles will become positively charged while the air will become the negatively charged. So when these ice crystal strikes with the so strike, strikes with an air currents, the air crystal will become negatively charged and the air will become positively charged. So the charge inside the cloud will be equal to 1 to 100 coulomb, and the potential of the cloud will be 10 power 7 to 10 power 8 volt, and the energy associated with the cloud will be 250 kilowatt hour. So this is the diagram that shows the charge distributions in the cloud with corresponding field gradient near the ground. So the upper regions of the cloud are usually positively charged, whereas the lower regions in the base are negatively charged, except the local region near the base and head, which are positively charged. So, a fair weather condition will have a maximum gradient of 1 volt per centimeter, whereas the bad weather condition will have a maximum gradient at the ground level due to charged cloud of 300 volt per centimeter. So let us see about the various theories for the formation, charge formation. There are basically three theories involved. They are Wilson's theory of charge separation, Simpson's theory, and Reynolds and Mason theory. First, we will see about the Wilson's theory of charge separation. This theory is based on the assumption that a large number of ions are present in the atmosphere. So, many of these ions attach themselves to small dust particles and water particles. It also assumes that an electric field exists in the Earth's atmosphere during fair weather, which is directed downwards towards the Earth, and subsequently the lower part of the drop attracts negative charges from the atmosphere and will leave a majority of positive charges in the air. So the upward motion of air currents will tend to carry up to the top of the cloud, that is the positive air, and smaller drops that the wind can blow against gravity. In the time being, the following heavier raindrops that are negatively charged will settle on the base of the cloud. And thus, by the conclusion of this theory, though the large negatively charged drops settle on the base of the cloud and small positively charged drops settle on the upper portions of the cloud, the lower base of the cloud will be negatively charged and the upper region will be positively charged. So these are the two diagrams which show the diagram A will show the captive of negative ions by large falling drops, and the diagram B shows the upper side acquiring the positive charges and the lower side acquiring the negative charges. And then we are going to see the second theory, that is the Simpson's theory. So, according to this theory, there will be three essential regions in the clouds to be considered for charge formation. There will be basically three regions. That is, three regions are A, B, and C. So, in below the region A, the air currents will travel above 800 centimeter per second, and there would be no raindrops that falling through. And second is the in region A. First we saw below region A, and now we are seeing the in region A. The air velocity will be high, that which is enough to break the falling raindrops, which causes a positive charge spray in the cloud and negative charge in the air. So the spray is blown upwards as the velocity of air decreases, and the positive charged water drops will recombine with the larger drops, and it will fall again. So thus the region A becomes positively charged. Thus it will become positively charged. And next we will see about the region B. Region B will become negatively charged by air currents because it is over the region A. And next we will see about the region C. That is the in this region the temperature will be low, that is below the freezing point, and only ice crystals will exist in this region. The impact of air on these crystals will make them negatively charged. And here is the diagram for Simpson's theory, where you could easily understand the region A, B, C, and how all those negative and positive charge gets changed over. So the last theory is the Reynolds and Mason theory. So according to this theory, the thunderclouds are developed at heights 1 to 2 kilometer above the ground, and it may also extend up to 12 to 14 kilometer above the ground. So the temperature will be 0 degrees Celsius about 4 kilometer from the ground, and it may also reach minus 40 degrees Celsius at about 12 kilometer in height. So the water droplets will not freeze as soon as the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. So they will freeze below minus 40 degrees Celsius only as solid particles, on which the crystalline ice patterns develop and grow. Here the water droplets in the thundercloud are blown up by air currents and will get supercooled over a range of heights and temperatures. So, when such freezing occurs, the crystals will grow into large masses, and due to their weight and gravitational force, they will move downwards. They will start to move downwards. So, in an ice lab with the upper and lower surfaces at temperatures T1 and T2, where T1 is whereas the temperature T1 will be lower than temperature T2, there will be higher concentration of ions in the lower regions. So, since the H plus ions are much lighter, they will diffuse much faster all over the volume, and therefore the lower portion, which is warmer, will have a net negative charge. That is, they are the net negative charge density, that is the OH minus ions, and the upper portion, that is the cooler region, will have net positive charge density, that is the H plus ions. And from this theory, we come to a conclusion that the Hale package will get negatively charged when combined upon the warmer ice particles, and when the temperature conditions are reversed, the charging polarity also reverses. So, with this, we have come to the end of this topic, and thank you.